like we said, they outplay the Roadrunners the second period. You don't want to give them the lead going into the third period.
But Phoenix has to be feeling pretty good right now. It's a 1-1 hockey game. They have weathered a storm here. That's a deflection right in front of O'Neill. Great opportunity right there. Face-off in the Roadrunner zone. Very important face-off for Phoenix. 21 seconds to go in the second period. Stepan Moran will take the draw against Yannick Perreault. And here's where the Roadrunners, miss a guy like Brian McReynolds, who can get a lot of face-offs for you. Perreault will go back into the corner. Chapman leading it around the near boards. Perreault doing a good job getting that face-off passed out in front, deflected away. And here's Tomlinson breaking out to the half time. 10 seconds remaining in the period. 2-on-1. Straub down the left side. Tomlinson coming in. Shot off the post. Rebound up over the net. 4 seconds to go. Tomlinson hit the post. And Straub's rebound try went up over the net. And that's how the second period comes to an end. How about that? Wow. 1-1 hockey game. We'll take a look at that final 10 seconds. Straub breaking down the left wing. He shoots the puck off the post. Straub looking for the rebound. Tapped it. Oh! Just missing.
Well, it's got to be something with these posts, because yesterday they got, 5 or 6, one more tonight. They're lucky for goaltenders.
1-1 game at the end of 2 periods of play. We got a great one going here at the Civic Center. You're watching the IHL on Prime.
Those guys are trying to do too much out there, and if they just use their head and be patient and kind of know some tricks, and it makes the game easier.
Well, a guy with all the experience that you have, Stu, would know that you can't take a night off in the International Hockey League, not with the competition at this level, and that makes it great to have a goaltender like Draper. It's too bad Peter Angelo is injured right now, but it's a great asset to have a guy like Draper in the nets.
Yeah, he's played real well for us. The start of the year, the team struggled in this past 20 games, so he's played extremely well, giving us points in games when we shouldn't have had points. And Dave Gagnon has backed up the team, and I think if we get our that 3 goaltenders, so we've got some good depth and at least goaltending.
You guys have done a great job here in Minnesota. We look forward to a great third period. You're a great asset to the league, Stu. Thanks for spending some time.
Thank you.
Stu Gavin's been our guest here, and the game, Hawkins sending it down into the Phoenix zone. Rob Brown with it. Rob Brown moving through neutral ice. Yannick Perreault checked into the boards. Back to Brown. Brown had it knocked off his stick. Brown maneuvers at the blue line to Perreault. Perreault shoots it off the side of the net. Tried to get a quick shot there on Draper on a very, very steep angle, and he didn't get all of it.
Well, you look at Perreault and listening to Stu Gavin out there in his interview after the second period, how he sees some guys in the NHL, and you look at Yannick Perreault there, 48 goals, and hasn't even really been given a true shot at playing NHL. The guy is still plugging away, and he's an asset to this league.
Pretty close. Both teams, when tied after 2 periods of play, it's been even like that all throughout this 2-game series, the second of 2 games. Phoenix won last night 2-1 in the shootout. Now tonight we're tied at 1 early on in the third period of play. Rob Brown for Phoenix, the veteran. Rob Brown has a 21-game point scoring streak on the line here in this third period. Steve Wilson feeding it across ice. Minnesota controlling in their own zone. Out to neutral ice. And they'll go back and forth with it in front of the penalty box. Now Yannick Perreault. Pass on the left wing, Dave Tomlinson. He'll fire it on. Draper with a save. Stu Gavin will clear it the length of the ice. We'll get an icing call here on the Minnesota Moose. Icing on Minnesota with 18:24 remaining here in the hockey game. The veteran defenseman Dave Hackstall. Hackstall was out with an injury. He has just returned in this 2-game series. The captain of the Minnesota Moose hockey team. You can take a look at the stats from the second period. Shots on goal really in favor of Minnesota. That's what we talked about during the intermission, the great period of play that Minnesota had in that second period. Now Phoenix with control, shot right out in front, deflected down, and Tomlinson could not get control of the hockey puck. Christensen checking Vachon. Tomlinson. Milesma will send it behind the back. Try to get it behind the Minnesota Moose net. Tomlinson fighting for it there. Out to the right point. Brian Straub can't hold it in, and he'll chase it down in the Phoenix zone. Straub out to Tomlinson. Into the right wing corner. Draper leaves it for his defense. Brad Miller pushing it over onto the far side. Here's Stefan Moran. Can't find the puck. Taken away. Straub at the Minnesota blue line. Try to push it into the zone. Taken away. And now Moran will come as the Roadrunners change. Moran into the zone. Poked off his stick. And Edgerton will pick it up. Didn't clear it. Now it is cleared out. Back in neutral ice, Brad Miller will drop it back into his own zone. Humanek back to Miller, and a two-line pass is going to be called. Offside pass. Here's some more scores from the International Hockey League tonight. You watch our game on Prime. Milwaukee and Atlanta tied in the third period. That's a pretty good matchup right there. Chicago being shut out by Kalamazoo, and that's at the horizon. Denver defeated Cleveland, and the Denver Grizzlies just keep rolling right along. San Diego beat Kansas City, or leading Kansas City 6-3 in the third. San Diego, of course, trying to catch the Phoenix Roadrunners in the Southwest Division. San Diego was 62 points. Las Vegas was 68, Roadrunners was 69. But Denver with two more tonight. Now at 86 points on the year. Sean Brown sending it behind the Minnesota net. Pass out in front. Tapped by Chevalier, but just wide of the right post. Now a quick shot off the defenseman. Behind the net, Chevalier goes underneath the stick. Sean Brown sends it behind the net to Chevalier. He'll take a hard check from Polstad. Phoenix still with it. Wraparound try coming up. Slid it right through the crease. Runners putting on good pressure. Now it's stopped by Draper. And that's exactly what the goaltender wants to do. When he sees that pressure, he wants to stop it at that moment. 16:38 remaining in this hockey game. We're tied at 1 as you watch the IHL on Prime.
The new 960 is a very different kind of Volvo. So, we thought we'd run it by you. The new 960 from Volvo.
Think of all this as a large block of ice. Think of this as a chip off the old block. Coors Light aged ice cold. So when you think of ice, think of the silver bullet. The only way to chill.
You're taking a look at the Central Division standings, and Minnesota at 22, 24, and 10, maybe at the bottom of the Central Division, but still in line for the final playoff spot at this moment in time in the International Hockey League. Very important game from here on out, of course, for the Minnesota Moose. Now, here's Chris Miller over the blue line shot. O'Neill with a save. Brill checked into the boards hard, and Adamansky keeping his man pinned up against the boards. They go to McKee. McKee was spun around, puck outside the zone. Hackstall sent flying as Chevalier came in, and now Hackstall gets up to have a little word. Not too happy about that. It was a hard hit.
Just finished in his check. Great play by Adamansky.
Yeah.
Comes away, and it was a clean check.
Yeah, I said Chevalier. That wasn't Adamansky.
We look at McKee here. You take a look at his stick. He's a defenseman. He's an offensive defenseman. He's got a short stick, the smallest stick in the league, and so he can handle the puck, make good hard passes, stick handling, and he can maneuver very well.
That's not the blade of the stick, though. That's the actual stick part of it, right?
The actual length. He's got the smallest stick in the league.
See if we can get a closer look at it. Offside Phoenix as Nedemansky goes in. There's a look at Brian McKee's stick. Kind of sawed off right about at his tight end there. It is very, very short.
The reasons why he uses that is because he's an offensive-minded defenseman. It's easier to handle the puck. A lot of the bigger guys, you see them, they use the long sticks. And the smaller guys who are good offensively, they use a smaller stick so they can handle it and have a better feel for it.
Yeah, what it will do, though, it will take a little bit off your shot, but you can handle the puck a lot better.
So that's the only disadvantage, though? It'll take a little off the shot?
And you still have a pretty good shot. But you will take, it's like a golf club. You know, the shorter the club is, the less distance you get.
Why don't more
Same
players
thing
do that?
They like the harder shot. You know, I use a smaller stick. I have a better feel for the puck. You don't have a long reach. The bigger guys, they like the long reach, and they're used to a longer stick.
Do you ever stop Goose, do you ever stop any of Gretzky's shots?
Never made it to the net.
He couldn't see them. He couldn't even see them. They whizzed by him.
Minnesota with possession, feeding it out to neutral ice. Almost got a war going up here in the booth. 1-1 hockey game in the third period. Vachon trying to chase it down. Roadrunners in the Minnesota zone. Pass across ice. Vachon got tied up with Dennis Leroux, the referee. 15:34 remaining in the game. O'Neill sending it around the boards. Now it's lifted and dropped to neutral ice. Back into the Minnesota zone. Picked off Brian Straub. He'll shoot it back into the Minnesota end. Both teams going back and forth here. 29 shots for Minnesota, 21 for Phoenix. Miller taking a check into the boards, and the loose puck, Edgerton out to the point. Now drop deep, Chevalier. He'll lose it to Hawkins. Deflected pass, and the Roadrunners will intercept. Here's Sean Brown. Brown. Knocked away from him. Corvo intercepted Brown. Brown took the shot wide of the right post. Chevalier trips his man. Sean Brown with it. Out in front to Chevalier. Chevalier making a move. Backhand shot. Deflected, I believe, by Corvo. Good defensive play there. Don Corvo staying right with Chevalier. Phoenix working it. Now Chevalier can't get his stick free. From the right point, Wilson's shot. Now McKee. Phoenix putting on pressure in the Minnesota zone. Passed out in front. We got a cross-check coming up here at Sean Williams. Minnesota will get called for cross-checking. 14:09 remaining in the hockey game, tied at 1. We have not seen Eric Levine back into the hockey game. We understand he's down with Bud Wilkinson. Bud?
Yeah, Eric Levine stopped the shot with his ankle during that second period, and you're out for the night.
Yeah, I tried to put my skate on during the second period, and I can do nothing. So I hurt too much. I just want to take third period, put some ice, and take a break to be ready for the next game in Las Vegas.
Eric, thank you. I mean, he can't put his skate on, but he's wearing cowboy boots. They can still get on.
Oh, that might help him out. Rob Laird, coach of the Roadrunners, now looking at his team, taking over on the power play with 14:08 remaining. 1-1 game. Sean Williams getting a cross-checking penalty for Minnesota as that puck goes out of play, up into the crowd, and they'll scamper for that one behind the penalty box. 5:51 is the time of the penalty. Williams had no choice. The Roadrunners putting on pressure. Puck squirted out in front. He had to clear the front.
Well, you know, you look at that line there for the Roadrunners. They were just all over him, the whole ship. They were using what we call the wheel. They kept throwing it behind the net, waiting for an opportunity. The opportunity came. Williams, all he had to do was take a penalty.
Phoenix 0 for 3 on the power play tonight with possession in the Minnesota zone. Fired to the left point, stopped by Draper and cleared the length of the ice. Phoenix is 11 for 53 in their last 10 games on the power play and have 7 power play goals in their last 5 games. They're 7 for 26. Towards Draper, passed out in front. Here's a chance off Yannick Perreault's stick. Perreault checked into the boards by Stepan Morin. Now Rob Brown's going to chase the puck down. A minute 19 remaining in the man advantage. 1-1 game in the third period. Dave Christian pulling it off the boards, sending it out to center. Chapman will go after it. Ryan Chapman will pick it up. Rob Brown on the near boards. Sends it behind his own net. Less than a minute to go in the man advantage. Here's Rob Brown. That was a dangerous pass across ice. Dave Christian made a motion for the puck. It's kicked out in front, knocked away, and this will come back to neutral ice. We mentioned before, Phoenix playing without those guys on the point that you would normally see, like Rob Cowie and Chris Snell on this power play. And that really makes a difference in the specialty teams. All of the timing and everything else.
They're used to playing out there with the three guys up front. They know how to move the puck. They know where they're going to be at. Right now, you see Phoenix are having problems setting up, getting out of their own zone right now.
15 seconds to go in the man advantage. Rob Brown, Steve Wilson. Wilson, a defenseman, carrying it deep for Phoenix. Wilson along the right wing boards. Gives it to Nedomansky, and his shot went up over Draper.
Minnesota.
Here's McKee from the left point. Penalty is over, and the teams are back now at equal strength. Ryan McKee will knock this down at center ice. McKee trying to hit Rob Brown at the blue line. We'll get an offside call on the Phoenix Roadrunners. 11:53 remaining here in the third period. Phoenix and Minnesota tied up in a good one. Watch the IHL on Prime.
When the presence is felt, check out what he's wearing. Get robbed by a masked man. Remember what he's wearing. The names wear.
The difference was the patent. Bell beat Gray by 4 hours, so Bell is famous. Gray is forgotten. If you have an invention, call 1-800-806-IDEA for your free inventor's kit. That's 1-800-806-IDEA, and patent it before someone else does. Be famous like Alexander Graham Bell, not forgotten like Elisha Gray.
Somebody was asking me if Rob Brown got cut on the bridge of the nose there. What is that all about, Keith?
Well, what it is it's a thing across his nose to help him breathe better. The oxygen flows in. You see it on the football players. That's where it all started. Now a lot of NHL players and the IHL players are starting to wear it because they get more oxygen and it's easier to breathe.
And it is a piece of tape so that goes across the nose.
Exactly.
Pulls it down a little bit.
It opens up the pores. You can breathe better.
I don't know about that.
Why?
I don't know about that tape. I'm not sure. I tried with a Band-Aid, didn't work.
I think Todd Hawkins is looking for some right now. He got hit with that shot. That stopped play. What are you talking about? It's just kind of like a... It's called a Breathe Aid, I'm told from the truck now. Oh, Breathe Right, it's called. And it was developed here in Minnesota.
Would have added another 10 years to Goose's career.
I played until 52. I didn't want another 10 years.
I understand everybody down in the truck has one on right now. 11:48 remaining in this, tied at 1. Faceoff came outside the blue line. When the shot hit Hawkins, it was whistled down by Dennis LaRue, the referee, because it looked like Hawkins was injured, but he's all right. He's still on the ice. Now the Moose. Intercepted by Phoenix. Brian Straub over the stick of Chevalier. Chevalier picking it up behind the Minnesota net. Checked by Hawkins. Todd Hawkins trying to muscle Chevalier out of the way. Chevalier got it out in front, and then players tripped. Here is Sean Brown. Roadrunner player being pinned in front of the net. That was Nedomansky, I believe. No, that was Chevalier. Now the loose puck along the boards. Hawkins knocked it away from Edgerton. He'll carry it behind the net. Sean Williams will pick it up, try to get it back to Hawkins. Intercepted at neutral ice by the Roadrunners. Lost it for a second. Got it back, trying to hit Chevalier going into the zone. And icing is called as Chevalier is kept off the play, and Hacksaw grabbed the puck. icing on the Roadrunners. 10:45 to go with a 1-1 game here at the Civic Center.
We saw another good shift by the line of Chevalier, Brown, and Edgerton. I mean, the last 2 games, they've been probably the best line for the Roadrunners. Nothing to show for it. They didn't get much point for it, but they played real well. Every time they step on the ice, they put a lot of pressure on the Minnesota team.
International Hockey League around the nation. Tonight into tonight's action in the Northern Division, Kalamazoo leading with 78 points. Detroit with 77. Chicago and Cleveland right behind. In the Midwest, Peoria with 88 points, and Cincinnati with 76. Indianapolis and Fort Wayne following in the Midwest Division. We showed you the Central and Southwest divisions. Roadrunners breaking into the Minnesota zone. Now the puck tied up in the left wing corner. Knocked away. Draper will come out of the net. Dan Curry will clear it. McKee will try and flag this down for Phoenix and does. Back into the Roadrunner zone. McKee to pick it up. He has it behind his own net. Dave Tomlinson flipping it high up into the air. Loved at center ice by Brad Miller. That goes off Dan Curry into the Roadrunner zone, and Brian McKee will return the puck out to the blue line, but not out of the zone yet. Phoenix in control. 30 shots for Minnesota, 23 for the Roadrunners. Steve Wilson. Puck knocked down at center by Brad Miller off Stefan Moran. Moran played in the IHL All-Star game recently. That was in Las Vegas. Quite a big show in January, the 3rd week of January. Phoenix had Yannick Perreault, Rob Brown, and Chris Snell in that All-Star game. Here's Moran. Moran centered it, and went off his skate. He'll get it back again, drop pass, and Yannick Perreault intercepts. Taps it back out to neutral ice. Yannick Perreault intercepted that again. He'll give it to Rob Brown. Brown's shot deflected, high off the plexiglass. Centered, out in front, Perreault! Perreault found himself alone, but the shot was blocked by Draper, and then Nedomansky fired it into a prone Tom Draper right there in the crease area. How about that, huh? You know, Mario, when you played goal, sure, you had a lot of talent and everything. You got lucky every once in a while. You got to be lucky to play goal, too.
No, you got to be. I mean, he made a good move. He came across, covered the bottom of the net. Then he didn't know where the puck was, so he stayed down, looked for the puck, got hit the second time. Yeah, you got to be lucky once in a while. Because,
watch him down on the ice here when a puck comes at him. He's going to, from Nedomansky. He's going to go, wait a minute, that's coming at me.
Well, sometimes, like I said, you don't know where the puck is, maybe underneath you, so you just stay down. Hope the puck is there.
Phoenix has had its chances here in this 3rd period. Rob Brown over his stick, make that 8:57 to go in the game. 1-1 game. Phoenix had a 1-0 lead at the end of 1. It was 1-1 at the end of 2. 2-on-2 breakout here by Minnesota. Brill on the left wing, checked into the boards. Held there by Ryan Straub. Now Nedomansky going after it in the far corner. He'll take a hard check. The puck is sent back to center ice. And Mike O'Neill, kind of a dangerous play too, because that puck was bouncing a little bit. The ice was put in here at the Civic Center less than 48 hours ago, so it can be a little chippy every once in a while. As you look at Rob Laird looking on at the action, 1-1 here in the 3rd period with 8:15 remaining in this hockey game.
Inside every one of us is an athlete with a thirst for the game going on around us. It's life, and if you play hard at it, you get thirsty. That's why we make Gatorade. Hey, life is a sport. Drink it up.
When sports cream? When arms are sore. When legs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Massaging sports cream in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. No odor. Why sports cream? Because it works.
Mickey Moose up in the crowd, leading the cheers. Minnesota and Phoenix tied at 1 with 8:15 remaining. Draw in the Phoenix zone. Corvo with it. Maneuvers side of the Roadrunner net. Brings it out in front. O'Neill knocked it away. Backhand shot. O'Neill grabs this. Great move there by Corvo. Ivan Corvo got the puck on the side. Keith, you take it.
Well, what happens here? Corvo does a great job. He busts to the net. But what happened was Minnesota won the face-off. Great play. They held up. They made some switches. He got left open. Corvo got left open. One of the Roadrunners did not stay with his man. In your own zone, you have to stay man on man.
Mike O'Neill with 31 saves tonight. Crowd, hey, there's the Musso-meter up on the scoreboard. And the crowd going crazy here at the Civic Center in St. Paul. And Bilesma steals it. Vachon overskated it. And now the puck loose at center, taken by Phoenix. Ryan Chapman into the zone, drops it over into the corner. Less than 8 minutes remaining in the game. Minnesota controlling out of their own end. Oh, lost puck. And a Roadrunner right there, Nicholas Vachon, knocked down on the play. It came loose at the last second. Now here's Straub. Ryan Straub. He'll just dump it behind the net. Minnesota net. Moose control it. You can see the extra area back there. It just allowed Todd Hawkins to skate around two players and keep control of the puck. That's the advantage the forwards have in that extra area behind the net. Now the puck cleared off the boards. This is going to go the length of the ice. We could get an icing call here on Minnesota. We just icing on the Moose. Jeff Chevalier, rookie for the Phoenix Roadrunners, one of the top scoring rookies in the International Hockey League. High draft choice of the Los Angeles Kings.
We're going to look on the replay here. The ice is so bad, this is the coach's worst nightmare. He just moved the puck out. Kolstad there is the last man breaking out of his zone. He's just got to move the puck out. There's no reason for him to carry the puck out. The ice is very bad. We've talked about it before. He's just got to move the puck out.
Now your ice is in bad shape right now, so you're not looking for a perfect play. All you want to do is put the puck on net. Doesn't have to be pretty. All you need is one more goal.
Phoenix with the draw. Set behind the Minnesota net. Now here's Sean Brown. Throw it out in front. Score! We were just talking about it. And out in front, Devin Edgerton taking the feed from Sean Brown. Big winger Sean Brown, who joined the Roadrunners 24 hours ago, muscled it out in front.
Well, we've talked about this line, and Mario just finished saying this line hasn't got anything to show for their hard work. You watch on the replay. Great play by Wilson. Just gets it in behind the net. Chevalier's there. He uses his body, moves it out to Brown. Brown throws it out in front to Edgerton. Great shot. Out-muscles the defenseman there. Minnesota player Williams, it looks like. He out-muscled him, threw the puck out top shelf. Great goal for this line.
So it's 2-1 Phoenix with 6:54 remaining in the game. For Phoenix, their 25th shot of the hockey game. Runners scored in the first period. Dave Tomlinson scoring for Phoenix. Here's Brad Miller coming back into the Roadrunner zone. Slide it out in front. O'Neill with a save, and Miller bangs into O'Neill. Now Phoenix with possession. Tomlinson scored in the first period. He has the puck right now. Tomlinson drop pass on the left wing. Bilesma, his shot. Draper came way out to cut down the angle and to make that save. Nagaru scored for Minnesota in the second period. Now Edgerton here in the third for Phoenix's 2-1 lead. Moose with possession.
18, Devin Edgerton.
Sean Brown will get one assist. And I believe Chevalier does get the other assist. Minnesota holding in the Phoenix zone. Kicked out by Bilesma. 5:50 remaining in the hockey game. Ryan Straub with it. Straub tries to clear. Puck along the boards. Curry putting a hard hit on Straub. That's what the crowd reacted to. Now Vachon deflected that puck to center ice. And Bilesma will intercept for Phoenix. Bilesma played in the American Hockey League last season before joining Phoenix this year. Now Chris Miller bounces it off the boards. Gives it up to Dave Hackstall. Cross-ice pass. Here's Stu Gavin. Gavin into the Roadrunner zone. His shot deflected high up into the crowd. They'll face that off out around the blue line.
Well, with 5 minutes left here, and Minnesota being down 2-1 in the score, they have to realize they've got to open it up now. They've got to add a guy jumping in. They have to have two-man forechecking now. Maybe sometimes three. The D-man has to pinch in. They can't be worrying right now about a tie because they need some goals. They need a goal to tie it up. Phoenix, on the other hand, they have to make sure they have at least 3 guys back.
Frank Sartori, the coach of the Minnesota Moose, talking to Dan Curry on the bench. 5:16 remaining. Yannick Perreault leads the league in goals scored with 48 and in points with 91. Draw, backhand shot, scored! It's tied! Great play off the draw. Chris Miller getting the puck forward. And Minnesota has tied it at 2. You can see Brill breaking for the net. And Miller with a perfect pass.
Yeah, the puck got loose just in front of O'Neill. He wasn't sure if he wanted to go or not, so he wasn't really ready for the shot. It's the backhand. It's the toughest play for a goaltender to stop. Backhand, you don't know where the puck will go.
You got to credit Brill with a very strong move and performance there because Steve Wilson was great all over it.
Yeah, it was good zone coverage. Just made a good backhand shot. Like I said, for a goaltender, it's real tough to stop.
This is a great angle from behind the net, and you can see Wilson all over Brill, and McKee had his man. So it was just a great offensive play by the Minnesota Moose. Back into the zone. Shot there by Christian. Knocked down by O'Neill. A 2-2 hockey game. The action will pick up now. Here's the third period. 4:50 remaining in the game. Off the boards, off the neutral ice.
And number 10, Dave Snuggerud. Time of goal 14:50. Brill from Chris Miller and Snuggerud, 14:50.
Snuggerud gets the other assist. He won the draw and got the puck back to Chris Miller. 2-2 game. 4:25 remaining. It's only Brill's second goal. Now the puck deep. Stefan Moran, always dangerous with the hockey puck. Taken away from him. And this will be iced by the Phoenix Roadrunners. Chris Miller will go back, will touch it, and it's icing on the Roadrunners. So, with 4:06 remaining in this hockey game, we are now tied at 2. Don't miss any of the drama. You're watching the IHL on Prime.
I remember it like it was yesterday. I was hosting my first big business dinner, and I paid with my Visa card. Turns out I was over my limit. I was so embarrassed, I didn't know what to do. So I got the American Express card, and it never happened again.
Call 1-800-THE-CARD. We can take your application right over the phone.
Applying for the card was one of the easiest things I've ever done, and smartest. And anyone who's ever gone anywhere knows it. I have a place to cash checks, get my mail, and get help when I need it.
My dad said the minute you get a job, get an American Express card. He said, trust me on this one. I've gone everywhere with it. And here's a tip. Sign up for membership miles, and everything you charge on the card will earn you program miles, so you can keep on traveling.
So call now for the American Express card. You can apply right over the phone.
It's really worth it.
It helped not having a preset limit.
I got cash on the go.
I can call 24 hours a day. That helps.
Go anywhere, and it's with you all the way.
Don't delay. Just dial 1-800-THE-CARD.
Taking a look at the Minnesota bench, John Brill has just scored to tie the hockey game. For Minnesota, his second goal of the year, and only his 6th game with Minnesota. Now the puck to the Minnesota blue line, and offside will be called on Phoenix as Rob Brown was trying to muscle it into the zone. Just under 4 minutes to go. 3:56 remaining in this game. Well, you can see some of the physical nature of the game right there. Bridge of the nose of John Brill. Marked up a little bit on the nose, but I'll tell you, a pretty happy guy right now with that tying goal. Minnesota with it in their own zone. Knocked into the Phoenix end and back to get it. Mike O'Neill coming out of his net. Gives it off to Steve Wilson. Brill stops it along the left wing boards, taken away by Rob Brown. Brown skating to the blue line. Brown into the zone, is checked into the boards hard. Now a little pushing and shoving with Hackstall. Nugaroo drops it back for Chris Miller. Hackstall around the far side. Yannick Perreault at him. And Rob Brown will shoot it in. Brown shot it. Chris Miller came back and said something to Rob Brown as the whistle went off as soon as Brown touched it. Chris Miller played on the Phoenix Roadrunner hockey team years ago. Not the same time as Rob Brown, but got a little upset that Brown took a swing at that puck. Whistle wasn't going to blow until he touched it, though.
Well, I think both of them were having it out when Brown tried to come down on Miller there. And Miller did a great job standing up Brown, and they had the gloves up high. They're rubbing each other in the face, and the puck came back to Brown there. And he knew it was going to be a whistle because it was gloved ahead, and he just fired it anyway. And he stood his ground.
Well, you know, with 3 minutes to go in the game and 2-2 tie, that penalty won't come as easy.
3:10 remaining in the game. Fired in on O'Neill. Stretching for that one. Minnesota holding it in the Roadrunner zone. Another quick shot, and O'Neill had to be quick there. Bilesma. And Bilesma getting it ahead for Chevalier. And Chevalier's tripped and sent right into the net. And that goes off of its foundation, and Dennis LaRue has a little word for a couple of the players, and now signals that the face-off will come outside the blue line.
Well, as Mario just said, the referee's not going to call that much. You can see the Minnesota player holding on to him, and he goes into the net.
That was Corriveau.
And if it was 2-1 game in the first and second period, he might call that. But when there's only 2 minutes left in the hockey game, Ty scored at 2-2. He's not going to call that type of a penalty. It's got to be a major infraction.
Yeah, because the referee doesn't want to be a factor in winning or losing a hockey game, so he's going to let little thing goes in the third period.
2:45 remaining in the game. Curry sending it into the Roadrunner zone. Dave Tomlinson, who got the first period goal, now sends it over to his teammate, Ryan Straub. Back to Tomlinson, onto the right wing. Now back to Tomlinson, shoots it off the side of the net. Tomlinson back, trying to muscle it out in front. Who's trying to get control? Tomlinson still swacking at it. Out to the blue line, shot, and then Vachon got a swing at it in front of Draper. But it was deflected away. 2:12 remaining in the game. Tied at 2. Moose into the Roadrunner zone. High slot. Stephane Moran had his shot blocked. Moran behind or between the leg pass and was intercepted by the Roadrunners' Dan Bilesma. He'll drift back into his own zone. Give it to Brad Miller. Miller checked on the play but still maintains control. Miller into the Roadrunner zone. Miller around the player but had it taken away. Rob Brown still controlling. Brown coming back. Brown into the zone, 2-on-1. Brown onto the left wing. Brown tried to get a return pass from Wilson, and it was blocked by the defense. Miller cutting off the pass behind his own net. 1:30 remaining in the game. Shot. Brown deflects. Knocked down and off his stick. Chris Miller behind the net. Brown was in perfect position. Out to the left point. Held in by McKee. Shot again, and that went through a maze of players, and it looked like it grazed off the side of the net or something. Boards. 1:13 remaining in the game. Steve Wilson rushing forward. He'll shoot it into the left wing corner. Down, the Moose with control. Coming up on a minute to play.
1 minute remaining in the third period. 1 minute.
Here is Axel sending it in. After it, Snuggeroo. He's sent into the boards in the corner. Now Edgerton, who scored the third period goal for Phoenix, coming away with it. Edgerton moving out into neutral ice. Edgerton shooting it into the Minnesota zone. 38 seconds remaining in the game. If it ends in a tie here in regulation, they go immediately to the shootout. Now behind the net. Here's Rob Brown. Brown bringing it out. Brown, wraparound try. Knocked down by Draper. Grabbed and held there for a second by Brill. But there was no call. Now the runners intercept. 18 seconds to go in the game. We got players tripping all over the place. Now it's passed forward on a hand pass, and a face-off will come in the Minnesota zone.
Minnesota got very lucky there. Phoenix had the pressure on him, and it looked like Kolstad was behind the goal line. He was held onto the puck, but he grabbed it, lifted up smartly, put it back down on the ice. He would have, right here on the replay, you see him, he grabs it, he lifts it up, and then he throws it down. That's an automatic 2-minute penalty for holding on to the puck.
Well, the Roadrunners put so much pressure for a minute and a half on the Minnesota defense. Can't believe the puck didn't go in the net. They had so many good chances.
Well, Rob Brown had an excellent chance. I don't know how that stayed out. He looked like he had Draper. And Draper just did an excellent job.
Yeah, he made a great save. I talked about, between the second and the third, about the Roadrunners. Maybe they didn't have the energy to win this game, but last 10 minutes of the game, I think they were a better team than the Moose.
No question. The Roadrunners have put on more pressure. They have maintained it in the last couple of minutes. A timeout has been called here by the Roadrunners.
That's one thing when you're an independent hockey
club. Or the Moose called the timeout, sorry.
You have to have great goaltending. As Mario can say, you really need a star goaltender with a lot of experience, ready to face a lot of shots. You're going to have a weaker team defensively because you're an independent hockey club. And right now we're watching for the second night in a row, Minnesota's got great goaltending. Same with Phoenix. They've got great goaltending, but you need that goaltending.
Well, there are some pretty good independent teams, though, in this International Hockey League. Vegas is a pretty good team, Las Vegas. They got some strength. Milwaukee, a good independent team, too. And I think this Minnesota Moose Club will develop into one.
Well, what it is that you've got camaraderie. And what that means is that these guys are starting to play together with each other, and we have talked about it before. They've got a lot of injuries.
Minnesota has won 36 of the 69 faceoffs tonight. Draw. 2-2 hockey game. And they'll do it again.
We're looking out on the ice right now. We're seeing Phoenix having their defensive lineup. There's 12 seconds left in the hockey game. They want to go into the shootout with all their fire guns and hopefully win in the shootout like we did last night.
Well, if it ends in regulation in a tie, you get a point no matter what happens. It'll be a big point on the road for Phoenix, too. Every point, 4 seconds remaining in the game, every point is a big point. So Phoenix came out of the last night's game with 2 points, beating Minnesota in the shootout.
The WCHA Coach of the Year saw the Pies lose with 5 minutes to go. Tied at 4. This is Max Williams off the steal. He beats Wallenheimo, and that was it. DU loses 5-4. They hope to get an NCAA tournament bid when those bids go out on Sunday. One other game tonight, the Grizzlies lose at home. They go down to Phoenix 6-4.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
America's hottest car company.
It's unbelievable. That is absolutely uncalled for. And here's a team that is playing superb hockey all season.
Winners. From Goffstown, the executive director of Gun Owners of New Hampshire and the head of Gun Owners for Buchanan, Mrs. Sheila Dawson.